My name is Ryan Martin and from Calumet Marine, and today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about changing your lower unit grease. One of the most common questions I get is, when should I change my lower unit grease? And the answer is usually most manufacturers recommend every 100 hours or once a year, and it definitely needs to be done every fall, regardless how much you use the boat, because if you get water in your lower unit grease, it can freeze and bust. So you want to make sure that's changed before you put it away for the winter time. Now there are going to be a few things you need to be able to do this. Okay. First you're going to need is a marine low unit lube. It's a little bit different than car lube. It's got different additives in there to help with with corrosion and to accept water if you ever get a leak, so it's important to use a marine lube. I've got a Quicksilver here and the Starbright. Both of them are very good. There aren't really any that I don't recommend, but as long as you stick with the marine lubricant. And then you're also going to need a pump right here. There are some squeeze bottles. Bottles come with squeeze tops on them. I do not recommend those because you end up spilling more than you get in. The pump just screws right in the top of the bottle, and this screws right into your lower unit, and you pump it up, and it's nice and easy. Depending on what kind of outboard you have, there's different adapters. The one that comes standard on the pump fits most domestic engines, Johnson, Evinrude, Mercury, Mercruiser, even Volvo. That will work without any adapters for those. It's got threads on it. And then if you have a Honda, Yamaha, or a Tohatsu, you'll need this adapter that's slightly smaller than what comes standard on the pump. If you have a Suzuki, you'll need this one, which is slightly bigger. And some Volvos and Mercuries, you'll need one of these extensions to be able to change the lower unit grease. Once you have all the materials to change it, a couple tools you need is a wide bladed screwdriver, something that's nice and wide. If you have something that's narrow, you're just going to end up breaking your screwdriver because those plugs are very tight. So something with a nice strong wide blade on it. You also need a pan to drain the lower unit grease into. Alright, after you have everything you need, it's time to start draining the old lower unit grease out. What you do is you place your pan down below your lower unit, and then you have to locate your drain and level screws on your lower unit. The drain screw is usually located all the way on the bottom near the top of the skeg on the main part of the lower unit. And the level screw on most outboards is usually located right about the level of the cavitation plate. On this Yamaha, it's right there. It's located in different spots on just most manufacturers. Okay. This is a Mercruiser outdrive, one of the most popular setups on the Great Lakes. The drain is down here on the bottom, same place it is on outboard. The fill is all the way here on top of the upper half of the outdrive. Now if this is a Volvo or an OMC, the level would be on the top, on the very top, and it would have a short little dipstick. Just line up the correct oil level where it's indicated on the dipstick, but the Mercruiser, you just fill it up till it drains out the side like on an outboard. Now some of the newer Mercruisers, they have a reservoir inside of the boat that you have to make sure is full of lower unit grease too, or else you'll get a alarm going off. So after you fill it up the top, put that screw in, and then just go in your engine compartment and fill up lower unit reservoir till it's full on the line. Right. After you have located your drain and fill screws, fill or level, you take the rear the bottom plug out, and a little bit of fluid might come out, but not a whole lot. And then you take out the top plug, and then the rest of the lower unit grease should drain out. Now this is a very important time. You just don't want to drain it and let it sit. You want to take a look at your lower unit grease, because it will give you some sort of indication of how healthy your lower unit is. This is nice and clean, this is changed not too long ago, but there's certain things you look for when you're changing it. After all the fluid has drained out, you screw your pump into the bottom. This one's Yamaha, so we also had to use an adapter, and bring the engine down to a vertical position. The reason we do screw it into the bottom and bring it vertical, because as you're pumping the fluid, it will force all the air out the level screw. And once you have everything hooked up, the pump's very easy to use. You just push on it, and you keep on pushing, and it's forcing fluid in the bottom hole, and what you do is you fill it until it comes out the level hole. Alright, once you pump it up and get the grease coming out the top, before you unhook the plug on the bottom, you put the top plug into the oil level. What this does is it vacuum seals the lower unit, so that when you take the bottom plug out, you don't have all the grease coming out. A little bit will come out, but not nearly as much as it would as if you took the plug out the bottom with this one still out. Now that I have the top plug in, I tilt the motor up a little bit just to make it easier on getting the plug out, because you don't want to, it's a lot easier to get the screwdriver out there with it up off the ground a little bit. You take the bottom plug out, and if you notice, I'm going to lose a little bit of lower unit grease here when I take this out, but that's okay. Just put the bottom plug in, tighten it up, wipe off your excess, and that's it. You're done.